Hi guys, Amy D, back at it. Let's take a piece of scrapbook paper and turn it from a plain piece of scrapbook paper into a corner tuck. This is something that you can put right on the edge of your page. You can take it off, put it right back on. You can use it as a bookmark. You can tuck stuff underneath it. Either way, it works fantastic. There's a tag under it. Put that in your journal, and you've got an instant bookmark or a tuck spot on the top. So let's get started. What I did is I have a piece of scrapbook paper. Don't care for this side. I do like this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it at 6 inches square. We'll take this, and we'll cut it 6 inches. And then we'll do 6 inches. So we've got 6 inches square. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take and cut that in half. So we know it's 6 inches, we're going to cut it at 3 inches. Cut that right down the middle. Now we've got two 3-inch by 6-inch squares. We're going to take it and we're going to use a ruler or our mat and just mark the 3-inch spot right in the middle. And then we're going to mark the 3-inch spot on the middle of the other one. So we've got both pieces marked at 3 inches. I just put a little pencil mark there, right there. The first one we're going to take, we will not see the inside, so you can use white, you can use less loved paper, but we're going to take it, we're going to fold this down, and we're going to have it go from right across the bottom, which comes right up to our center mark. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So now we've got a triangle. There we go. Use our bone folder or our card, whichever you're using. I still can't find my bone folder. So now we have this and we've got this. We'll take our other piece, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my cutter. I'll use my knife on the other side. But what you do is you're going to take that center mark and you're going to put it on the line. Let's see if I can get it up there. You put it right on that cutting line, and then you line up your corner with the cutting line. And we'll cut that just like that. Now we'll do it with the knife and the ruler. That's a little bit easier if you're not real familiar with cutting them that way. That can be a little tricky. So we'll take that, go right to the middle and right to the corner. Use our knife and go right down there. Now we have another triangle. So what we'll do is we're just going to glue that right on top of our first triangle. And we're going to glue it on the side that has the split in it. So we'll get some glue, and we're just going to go right along the bottom on this side. We'll go here. You got to keep it on the paper, though, not keep getting it on your mat. And we'll just glue through there. You can see I've got glue all over both sides of that. And I'm just going to stick my triangle right down on top of that. And I'm going to match up my points and go right through there. And there we go. We've got a corner tuck. You can ink it and put my pin in. We can put a little bit of ink on there. If you get any extra hanging over, you can take a pair of scissors and just go along there and cut off any excess that might be hanging over. You don't want to cut your folded piece. That takes care of any excess hanging over there. Ink the other side. And there we go. And now we've got it. It opens right up. That's the part that we didn't want to see inside there. And we'll just put that right on there. And we've got that corner tuck. There it is. So now, if we wanted to, we could put some lace along the bottom there. That looks pretty. We can put that on there. Take that back off, and we'll use our 3-in-1. We'll just go right along the bottom. Going to put a pretty thick bit of glue on there just because I've got a bigger piece of trim there. Make sure that we have the right side up, and just go right along the bottom there. We'll take it over and we'll just cut off our excess going down the side. I do want to I like it hanging over the bottom a little bit. There's that. We can do the same thing on the other side. We'll go through and we'll just put that glue on there right along the edge. Put your piece of trim down there. Get right up to the corner. Put it where you want it. We'll trim off the excess. There we go. And it's that easy. Wipe off any excess glue there, and there's that. We can now put that right on the corner of our paper. And that's what it looks like. Pretty. And that's what it's going to look like in your journal if you have a tag or a journal card or something in there. So let's go through and mass make some other ones. Let me put my lid on here if I can find it. Let me clean some stuff up here. You can save these if you want to use them for anything. I'll put mine over there. I'm going to throw away some garbage, and we'll get started on some other ones. I have some 6-inch squares already cut out. I've got some Stamperia paper. These are all 3 Stamperias. And I've got the Medieval Mirage Medieval Garden printable here. And I will leave a link to Stamperia and to Medieval Mirage in my description box below. So let's get cracking. We're going to cut all of these at the 3-inch mark because they're 6 inches square. So we line it up with the 3-inch mark. Go down. There's that one. Let's do the same thing on the other ones. Cut it at the 3-inch mark. Do you have a guillotine? I do definitely like using the guillotine. You can cut more than one paper a lot of times, but I can make mistakes that way too, so I usually just cut one at a time. And there's that. So now we can go down and let's see. We'll do it this way. We're going to go. You can make the middle mark if you need to. I'm just going to line up these corners. I'm using this corner and lining it across the bottom. And then I'll use the top and the bottom to square up that other side so that it's just right. There we go. We'll set that one aside there. We'll do the same thing. This was Stamperia. I love it. The cover always has a print on the other side. So this is one that you can use. You're not going to see that inside. So that works good for that. Or plain paper. If you have some scrapbook paper that has a side that you just don't like as well as the other side, that's the way that you can use it and not see the side that you don't care for. We'll do that. There's that. We'll use this one. We'll go right down here, corner to corner, and line up the bottom. And there's that. And let's see, this is the one. I want it to be like this because I want to be able to see some of that flower. So we're going to take this and do corner. We're going to make that corner down there and line it up across the bottom. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Pull that back, line them up, and do that. And then that's what that's going to look like. So now what we'll do is we'll mark our 3 inches on there. And let's see, I want this to be the bottom of it, so I'm going to mark it in the middle up at the top. There's my 3 inches. And so now I'll just get my ruler and we'll go from the top of that mark to the corner of here. We'll cut that. And we'll go from the top of the mark to the corner down here. Just like that. There's that one. So that's going to go together. We'll do the same thing with this. This one is directional and I want this part to be the bottom. So I'll flip it over there and I'll make the 3-inch mark. This is the top. So we'll go from the corner to the top of that mark. And there we go. Now I can see the corner a bit better with it in that gray spot. There. There's that. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll go from the top of the mark to the corner. There's that. Look at that. We'll do this one the same. It doesn't matter which is the top or the bottom, so we'll mark our 3 inches. Make that mark a little bit darker. It's a little hard to see. And so we'll go from the top of the mark to the corner, just like that. Same thing on this side. We're going to go from the top of the mark to the corner. There's that piece. One more. Let's see, this is the top, so we're going to mark the top at 3 inches. 1, 2, 3. There's that mark. So we're going to go from the top of that mark to the corner. I'm going to put that corner in the gray again, so it's a little bit easier to see. Right there. There's that one. And same thing. Top of the mark to the corner. There we go. And now we've got that piece. We can take our glue and we can go right along the edges, right along the bottom. I don't go in the exact middle because I don't want it to get on the inside. So I get it up close to that split in the paper and then do that part there. And then we'll take this and line up our points. Press it together. And there's our pocket, our corner pocket. Anything that's hanging off the edge, you can trim it or you can straighten it up just a little bit to make it work. I think we've got a little bit hanging off there, but we'll go back and do that. Let's do this one. Go through just like this. Would you guys make these? I think they're fun. A little bit different. I'll link Stamperia papers and also Medieval Mirage in my description box, like I said. This one's just a little bit off, so I'm going to bring that fold up just a little bit. It's not that far off, but just enough to make me want to fix it just a little bit. There we go. We will have a little overhang there, but that's okay. We can trim it off. No biggie. Like a friend of mine just recently told me, it's just paper. And if you're the one that told me that, you know who you are. It's just paper. So just a reminder, we're going to be mass making some ephemera. Once we get a bunch of different ephemera made, then we're going to build a journal together. We'll go from start to finish. We'll have a box full of ephemera made, and we'll be able to stuff our journal and use our pockets and stuff in our journal with the ephemera that we've made. So that's going to be really fun. And if this is your first time watching, then welcome. Thank you for coming to my channel. My name is Amy, and I just like to make journals. I like to craft. I like to hang out with my friends on here. We have a really fun community that hangs out. My co-partner and I, Deb, we sell. Right now we're selling every Saturday. We're over on Dutch Ridge Primitives. We will be moving our sales over here in the future, in the near future. But until then, you can go over to Deb Ham's channel, Dutch Ridge Primitives. We sell there on Saturdays at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And we sell junk journal supplies, we sell antiques, we sell vintage items, we sell paper, we have rag paper, we have ledgers, just a whole bunch of different things that we can use in our junk journals. And I will try and remember to let you know if it's something that Deb Wilson or I have to sell when I use something that we sell, like ledger papers. I have some ledger papers. Deb has got a huge assortment of ledger papers. And she sells those, so I'll let you know. That way, if you need to get a hold of her or I, both of our email addresses are down in the description box, so you can always email to ask. Like I said, we will be moving our sales over, so that's going to be fun. I'll let you know when we're doing that. Towards the end of our mask making series here, before we go live, we're going to hold a little bit of a contest. There will be more details about that to come, but there's going to be about 10 to 15 winners. There's going to be a prize that I'm so excited about, and I think that y'all will be too. It'll be something that you can use, and it is going to be a ton of fun. So anyways, that's the plan. And that's what we do. Deb's a crafter. I'm a crafter. We hang out with like-minded people. This is stuff that we love to do. And not everybody that shops with us makes junk journals. Some people just like the ephemera that we bring, the vintage or antique pieces. Like I've said, we've got lots of stuff like that. We have books from 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. We have French, Italian, Latin. Deb has got an enormous amount of ledgers that she sells by the whole book, and she also sells them by the folio. So I've said several times when I'm selling things and selling different folios, if you don't have to buy the whole book, let me do it, and then I'll sell you a folio, or 3 or 5. But yeah, we both like doing that. We love what we do, and we're always happy to bring it to you. So yeah, so let's go through and put this lace on here. I like that a lot. I think it's a really pretty lace. It'll look pretty hanging down over, so I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger. We'll put some 3-in-1 on there. It's a little bit wider, so I'm going to go a little bit wider on my glue there. And make sure we have the right side up. Yep. And we're just going to go down through there and place it where we want it. There we go. There's that. I'll trim it off. There. I'll go through and do the same to the other side. There we go. Put some glue on there. Put it where we want it. Perfect. We'll cut off our excess. There we go. That one's done. Let's get that glue that's coming off of there. There we go. It comes out the top. And you don't put the lid back on it right away. Okay, let's do this one. Let's see what laces we want to use for these. We've got plenty to choose from here. Let's see. Some eyelet might be nice. We could go right along there, and what we'll do is we'll cut that top part off. There we go. Well, it's got a nice line across the top there, so what we'll do is we'll just go right across that top there and cut that off. These are another thing where when you're done, you'll have nice base. You can adorn it a little bit more if you'd like. When you get ready to put it in your journal, you'll know, you know, what if you want botanical on there, if you want to add anything on there. Maybe the lace is enough for you. You know, but once you get ready to put it in the journal that you're going to use it in, that's when you'll know how you want it to look. Let's see, which one do we want? I kind of like it on this one. Let's do that. Make sure we have the top on the top. Go right there. Again, I have an overhang in the bottom, just a little bit there. I like that. And cut off our extra. And do the same thing on the other side. Put a little bit of glue on the bottom there. Make sure we have the top on the top. And go right along there. Put that little bit of extra sticking out on the bottom and cut off our excess. I like this one. I love eyelet. Eyelet is one of those, a lot of times, either you love it or you hate it. I tend to like it for the most part. Yeah, I've got the right side up there. There's some that I don't like as much as others, but I like this one. So there's that one. Let's look for a lace to use on that one. Ooh, how about... No, let's use this one on this. Let's use this here. We're just going to go right along there. We'll cut it right there. And we'll cut one about the same length. There we go. I'm going to put a little thicker swath on there because it's a wider lace. Make sure I have the top up. And I'm going to go right down like that. And take a little piece of that lace that we cut off there. There we go. A little piece of this, and I'm just going to get some of that excess glue off of there. There. I guess I don't need to make my swath as wide, but it'll dry. Okay, we'll go up on this. Ooh, look at that. See, that's what I was talking about. I don't like when it does that. And I don't know how to make it not do that other than putting my lid on it, which is what one would think I would do by now, instead of getting it all over my hands and the top of the bottle and everywhere else. But you know how I roll. If you don't, you'll soon figure it out. I am a mess. Kind of like a freight train express of a mess. There we go. Come right down there. I like it. We'll cut off our excess on the edges. There we go. And I'll show you what each of these look like when we, look at that, I still didn't put my glue lid on. I'll show you what each one of them look like on the corner of a page when we're all done. Let's see what we want on this one. What do we want? We've got a lot of lace to choose from over here. And I do like this one a lot. So let's use this one. We used this in the last video for something. Let's use it on this one too. Sometimes that's all you need to tie things in together, is just a little piece of paper that matches or a matching lace. And they kind of look like they belong together then. They look like they are from the same maker. Let's go cut a piece that's the same length. There we go. And we'll put some glue across the bottom. Make sure we've got the top sticking out. There we go. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Let's see. That's our top. There we go. Get a little bit of that excess glue off of there. Put my lid on. And we'll cut off our excess. There we go. All right, there's that one. So now we'll take this one off. We'll start with our first one. That will be the most dry. And we'll come through and we can look and see. That's what that's going to look like. Beautiful. I love it. We've got, this is the next one that we made. It's raining again. And that's what that's going to look like. Again, I love it. Here is this beautiful thing. That's really pretty. I like that a lot. There's that one. And our last one. So there we go. Beautiful. I love them all. There's not one that I like any better than the others. So in a matter of 35 minutes, we've made one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So we've made 5 corner pockets, corner tucks. All right, guys, let me know if you make it. Thanks. Bye.